morning, everybody. Judea Hartley here. Happy Tuesday once again. All right, party people, y'all know that right here on the AM show, we always keep our word. Now, if you were with us during our Daily Hot 3 segment, you know that at the top of the show, we teased a flat-out fantastic guest. And I got news, brothers and sisters. That guest is in person, live in the studio with us. She is an author. She is an incredible mother. She recently just graduated, and she's going to give us all of the details, you guys, in terms of her graduation, in terms of her educational pursuit, in terms of this incredible book that she wrote. But right now, I want you to stand up wherever you are and give a warm AM show welcome to my girl, my sister, Miss Monique Hardy.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, honey.
Good morning.
This suit said good morning before you did. I'm trying to tell you, can we get a little bit of a pan on the suit, honey, from the bottom? Do you see that? Love, love, love your fit.
Thank you.
Mo, I love you. I told Mo that I am going to, yes, look at that girl. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. I love Monique. You guys, Monique Hardy has accomplished so much in her life, but I have to say, she was actually my first best friend.
Yes.
And I am not shying away from that authenticity, that love, our sisterhood. We actually grew up, you guys, together. We grew up together. Her apartment was right here, and my apartment was right here. And sometimes the best moments of the day was when we could play out in the hallway together. And since then, she has gone to school. She has graduated. She's in the business of funeral servicing. She has written a book. She has had a beautiful daughter, right? And just so many other great things. So let me personally say thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, girl. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So let's get into the meat of this sandwich. Tell everybody why you decided to pursue a degree in funeral servicing.
Okay, so pretty much I've always been intrigued with death, per se, since I was a child. Growing up, I went to a lot of funerals, and when I would go, I would always be interested in the details. So what the person had on, how the casket looked, were there a lot of flowers, were there a lot of people, how did everything come together to become one, and just seeing the last final moments of the family and them departing, you know, their loved one for the last time.
Wow. Okay. So I never knew that, Mo. I never knew that because I hate funerals. That's where Mo and I differ. I hate funerals. It's just such a trigger for me because you know this, because we've lost so many people in our family. So I can't stand going to funerals, but I love that you actually looked at that experience from like a production side, whether you know it or not, Mo. That's what you were doing, girl. Looking at what are some creative, intricate, intimate ways that which we can send off our loved ones. So, okay, so you always paid attention to the details of that. So taking your passion, where did you go? Tell us about the school that you went to, what your degree is in, what you were certified, girl, what you can do now. Let's dig all the way in.
Okay, so pretty much, you know, going back to when I was a child, I was intrigued. And then when I got to high school, it kind of like highlighted more, and it kept like circling back, you know, funeral service. So I would go to funeral homes and ask the workers, can I see bodies before going to enroll into school, or, you know, deciding to go through with it full throttle. I wanted to see if I could stomach it first. So I would go to funeral homes and ask them, hey, can I see a body or whatever? And they would say, no, you have to go to school or whatever. So I'm like, okay. And then a lot of people would make me nervous about pursuing the career because they would say, oh, it's a scary job, you know, how can you do it? It's dead people. So I kept getting sidetracked. Like I would look into other jobs and other sources of income, and then I will always still circle back to funeral service. So I just knew that it was my calling.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get even deeper into that. But Mo, what you just said, I know that you were specifically talking about funeral servicing, but that concept is applicable in any industry.
Yes.
It's like, girl, if you stop trying to be an administrative assistant, if you know you're supposed to be an actress, okay, maybe you'll be an admin assistant and use those funds to boost that career, use those funds to really fund your dream.
Right.
But I feel like when something is your calling, it has a way of tugging at you.
Yes.
But it's like no matter what you do, you circle back around that. That's a very, very interesting field. So when you found out that you could stomach it, tell me about your enrollment process. What were your classes like? I'm like, I don't think I could do it. Tell me.
Okay, so I finally decided I'm going to go to American Academy, McAllister Institute. It's actually located in Manhattan.
Did y'all hear that? American Academy, McAllister Institute. Yes, girl.
It is located in Manhattan at the Paramount building now. So I enrolled into funeral service to get my associate's degree. And it's very, very, very rigorous course.
Ooh, how so?
Countless nights of studying. The anatomy was very brutal. Chemistry, very brutal. A lot of science, more so science. Yeah, versus like a regular CUNY school, you have to go through all the regular curriculums of math, English, and stuff like that. We only had like basic math and English, and then everything was mainly about bodies and anatomy and about bacteria and diseases and bloodborne pathogens and grief counseling, psychology, therapy, grief therapy, things like that. Yes.
Wow,
very
I didn't know. Wait, Mo, I did not know that. Okay, so I already had a respect for what you do, but now I have my respect just elevated, girl, because science was not my subject, honey. What? I don't know what you're talking about. I stick to ELA and history. So wait, go into that just a little bit deeper. What did they used to teach you in the Mo? I would be so lost. I would just be so, honey, I do journalism. Good morning. I do journalism and media. What did they used to teach you in those science classes? I thought it was just putting on makeup and making sure that, see?
I did too at first. So, you know, before I enrolled into the school, I didn't really know about how deep it can get. And like how every part of your body, it matters. Every vein, every vessel, every artery, every capillary, everything matters when it comes to embalming and getting the body prepared for funeral services. So like in anatomy, we had to learn about circulation, how the blood travels from the head to the toe and back. We had to learn about how the blood leaves the body during venous drainage. We had to learn about embalming fluids and how our body fluids can interact with different embalming fluids, how having a certain disease can interact and counteract with embalming. So we have to know all of these things so that if a problem was to arise or any challenge was to arise, we can know how to attack it.
Wow.
Yes, it gets really deep, even down to the pathology. We have to learn about bacteria, different spores, and disinfecting is different from sterilization.
Oh, wow.
Versus, it gets really, really deep.
You know, honey, I'm lost and fascinated. I really am. I'm like, wait, what? Mo, I had no idea it was so detailed. How did you get through those science courses?
Through prayer.
Okay.
Prayer and a lot of studying. Even doubling back with my teachers and telling them like, hey, I don't understand this. Can we go over this again? Studying after class, staying late hours after class, doing extra Zoom calls to make sure I had it down packed. And being a funeral director, it's never, the learning never stops. So we learn the entire time as we're a funeral director, and we learn. We have to keep going and getting certifications every year, every 2 years,
I didn't know that.
The education has to be fresh in our minds because you never know. Everybody is different. Literally, everybody is different. So we may have someone that we never had before. You know.
Yeah.
So we have to know how to deal with it.
How how intricate is that? Okay, so after going to the science courses and passing them, let me just say this, you guys, before I go to my next point. Like I said, I grew up with Monique, got the pleasure of growing up with Monique, and she was my first best friend. She's still my sister today. So she was always studious. She always did well in school. Mo always did. She was always that girl that did whatever she had to do to really make it through. And I admire that. If I never said it privately, I have no shame in saying it publicly. I admired that deeply about her. She always got up, no, I have to go to school, I have to go to work, I'm interning here, no, my grade is low here, I'm gonna do this to rise it. She was always that girl. So talk about, like, what was your actual major? Because Mo, I saw all of these beautiful pictures from your graduation on your social media. What is it in, Mo? Does it say funeral servicing?
Yes.
Okay, funeral servicing, and it's a 2-year program.
Yes.
Okay, so now that you've earned this hard degree, tell me about what you want for your future now. What is your optimal situation? Paint that for me.
Okay, so I'm a new mom, so apparently I stay at home with her full time. I work on the weekends right now. Yeah. But I created this ebook, you know, to create a source of income, and plus to express the importance of grieving, especially with children. Yeah. So that's one form of income that I'm trying to become an entrepreneur. Pretty much. So I want to go down that lane and exploring different things as far as grief, whether it's child grief, selling different novelties as far as keychains or urns, things like that. Yeah, so I'm dibbling dabbling as far as the entrepreneur realm right now. In August, I'm going to re-enroll into school for my business degree, just so I can become more informed on the business aspect of everything. Yes. Yeah, and within the next few months, I'm going to have to find a funeral home so that I can do my 1-year residency. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. Now that respect just catapulted even a little bit more. You guys, we're going to have a part 2 interview with Mo where she's going to really deep dive into her book. We're going to be sharing some quotes with you guys, the reason why she wrote the book, the title, the picture. Oh, we're going to get into the meat of that sandwich. But wait a minute. Let's backtrack and go back to this 1-year residency. So explain. I love it. I love a girl with a plan. I love it. So wait, Mo, what does that 1-year residency look like? I didn't even know you had to do residency like med school students. They have to do a 5-year residency. So tell me, what does that look like? So pretty much I have to do a 1-year residency. I'm not sure on the exact amount of hours. Don't quote me on that. But I know once I complete the residency, then I will be qualified to be licensed funeral director in New York City. Oh, so you basically have to shadow. You're working. That's your residency. You're working. So you're shadowing other funeral directors, which will essentially equip you to earn your certification. Right. Okay, Mo, I want to ask you this. Do you ever envision yourself running your own funeral home? Yes. Yes? Okay, what would that look like for you? It would be very family oriented. I like that. I would try to keep it very small. I feel like if a funeral home is more intimate, then you can connect more with your clients. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? If I could have some of my family members, my daughter, you know, play a part, that would be great too. Just, you know, create it and to make it to something where I can leave it for my family. To create generational wealth, and a legacy to leave behind, Yes, I love that. I love that so much. And in my experience, Mo, so many funeral directors, that's why I'm so happy you're in this business, so many funeral directors have lost that sensitivity. Yes. Because they do it every day. Yes. So it's, you know, it's like thematic. You do it every day. It's robotic at this point, and you've lost that sensitivity, that intimate touch, that sympathy, that empathy that families need, right? I think it's one of those positions where, one, you have to be a good person, as you are, in order to carry out the role effectively, and two, you have to always be willing to refresh your mind, meaning, okay,
I know I did this yesterday, but today is the next day, and this is a new family.
Yes.
And I know I buried a cousin yesterday, but this is their sister, and their sister means just as much to them as mine does to me.
Right.
So it's almost like this intimate, hands-on relationship, right? That you have to really, you know, you have to create that dynamic, that closeness, that sensitivity. And you absolutely, not only do you have the education for it, not only do you have the skill for it, not only do you have the mind for it, but in my opinion that I've clearly observed, Mo, you have the heart for that. You have the heart for really helping people transition, right? Because that's what it essentially is. You're transitioning from a tough time, and that could be hard, especially depending on your relationship with that family member. So we're definitely going to get into your books. I want to read you guys some quotes. We're going to show you guys where the book is available. We're going to get into those plans, honey, to enroll into business school in the fall. I told you she was studious. She always has something incredible going on. We're going to get into how your beautiful daughter, my niece, has served as an inspiration to you throughout this journey. All of that and so much more, you guys, throughout the second half of this interview. So we're going to head on over to a quick commercial break right now, but y'all don't go anywhere because Monique Hardy is going to keep it locked. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we have special guest with us, a book author, Monique Hardy. Once again, Mo, thank you so much for coming on the show. Absolutely, my sister. And you guys, if you're just now tuning in, no sweat, because you have not missed it all. Mo was talking about her journey in terms of pursuing her associate's degree in funeral service, her experience with her science classes and the school, the academy that she attended, her residency, her plans to actually pursue her business administration degree in the fall because she wants that to help her step into entrepreneurship and so much more. Mo has been chatting with us about, I'm super proud, before we get into her incredible ebook, I'm super proud of everything you've accomplished and personal and professional academic journeys that you've pursued and triumphs that you've actually overcome. Mo, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Your daughter has an incredible mother, and you are leaving legacy for her. You're leaving legacy. You're teaching her entrepreneurship. You're teaching her financial freedom and to really answer that calling. If you know that's your purpose, then answer that. So, you guys, if we can put her book, I'm super excited for this, her book up on the screen here. Monique Hardy wrote an ebook. There it is. And it's entitled A Parent's Guide to Helping Children Navigate Death and Grief. And specifically, I love your chapter titles, Mo. First of all, I love this cover. But I also love your chapter title. And as I was reading, chapter 1 is entitled Understanding Children's Understanding of Death. I love that. So I'm going to read a little bit to you guys, and then Mo and I are going to dissect this incredible story. So as children get older, typically between the ages of 5 through 9, their understanding of death becomes more concrete, right? They may start to understand that death is permanent and irreversible. So true. However, they may still have fears and misconceptions about what happens after death. It is important to address these fears and provide reassurance and comfort. Lord, isn't that true? Yeah. Okay, Mo, so how do we do that? How do we address these fears? Because sometimes they really don't know. Where's Daddy? They really don't know where Daddy went. How do we provide comfort, address their fears, and just provide reassurance? How?
Well, first we start in the home with, having an open door policy. Always leaving that avenue for your children to be able to come and talk to you. Yeah. And just listening. Sometimes we think we know what our children need or what our children are feeling, and it can be the complete opposite. So sometimes just listening to what our children are feeling first and then going from there. Even like creating like rituals, maybe creating like some type of memory corner for your loved one, and just going to it every birthday or every holiday that is significant to you and that loved one, to remember that person, you know, keeping them alive even though they're not there with you physically. And grief groups help as well. And even talking to other parents that may be going through the same thing with their children, to, you know, come together as a collective to see, you know, what can be done, you know, together to help their children get through such a difficult time.
Oh my God, I love that. I mean, I know that you are an amazing mom, but Mo, you just keep proving it and proving it, because what I hear is almost like you curating for yourself and your daughter this two-way symmetrical relationship where I never want you to be afraid to come and tell me anything. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how much you're confused. I don't care how angry and frustrated you may be. I always want to provide a safe space, a safe space for you to open up to me on these things that you're dealing with, including grief. And it's so true, because so many parents, Mo, they think, you're so right, they assume, they think they know what their children are going through, but you don't know the silent battles that your child is fighting. You don't know if they're getting bullied in high school. You don't know if they're in a relationship that they didn't tell you about. You don't know if they were sexually or emotionally abused. You don't know. And that's why I think it's important to be cognizant of your parental approach when you're really in relationship with your children. I want to ask, you have a beautiful daughter. How has your daughter served as inspiration throughout this process of becoming an author?
That's my world. My daughter is my everything. She inspires me to do everything that I do. I just want to be better for her, and that's in every category. And of course, it may sound cliche, but I really don't want her to struggle. I've had to struggle growing up, and I don't want that for her. So I'm trying to show her an example, because children don't always listen. They go by what they see. They learn by visuals. So I just want to be a model example for her, and to just show her if she wants to grow up and be an entrepreneur, she can, and that it's easy. It may not be easy taking the steps to get there, but staying on track, if you stay on track and do the things that you're supposed to do to get there, then it'll be an easy task.
Absolutely. And I know that she's going to grow up with a prime example, right? Just really comforting her, letting her know that she can do anything. Now, Mo, I've been dealing with grief, actually. We're going to get into chapter 2 and chapter 3 of her incredible ebook, but I have been dealing with grief for maybe about the past 4 to 5 years. And there was a time period, especially starting in 2020, where we actually lost 4 to 5 people. I mean, prominent pillars in our church and in our personal lives back to back. It was Jason, March 20th. My Aunt Wanda, you know. It was Aunt Wanda was February 6th. Jason was March 20th. Dr. Maple was March 28th. Uncle Mickey lost his wife, Sister April. That was May 28th. I mean, boom, boom. But back. You know that. Really, really back to back. And I remember that there was a period where getting up and actually making up my bed and taking a shower, those were the biggest accomplishments for that day. Don't ask me to do anything else. It took everything in my strength to do that. And I didn't feel like praying, and there was nothing that a YouTube sermon or that a hug or phone call money could do to really ease it. So I definitely went through a suicidal period. And I'm just curious, because I know that there's different forms, that's the word, different forms of grief where you actually lose someone to death, or the relationship is non-existent. They're living, but their relationship is non-existent. How have you personally navigated grief in your life?
So, because I've had a lot of losses too, you know, some prominent as well. I just learned to give myself grace. And understand that grief can come in waves and that it's not timed. So never, you know, go through a grieving process and expect, okay, I'm supposed to cry today, or I'm supposed to be over this by next week. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You know, for everyone it's different. So I just always gave myself grace.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always try to remember the good times that me and the person had to try to, like, take away some of the sadness, you know, knowing that I'm not going to see that person ever again. And it works.
It does.
It does.
It really
work.
does. And I always tell people, I say I'm huge on framing and wording, because one word can make the largest difference. I always tell people, I don't move on, I move forward.
Yes.
I tell people that, Mo, because in my mind, I'm just being honest and vulnerable. In my mind, when we say, oh, I'm moving on, it's almost like you're going on with your life, forgetting about them. Let me pluck them to the corner. I don't need you anymore. I don't need your impact or your love or our memories anymore. And that's not true.
Right.
So that's why I say I'm moving forward. So as I move forward, I will take your love with me. I'll take it with me to church. I'll take your love with me to graduation. You'll be there in some special way during my wedding day. I'll take you along with me. And I often hear that grief is love that has no place to go.
Yes.
It's love, Mo. That really just has no... That's why we can get so overwhelmed, because grief does not schedule itself.
Right.
Hello!
And we're hurting, you know.
Exactly.
Grieving, you're hurting, so it could be a long process, and it never goes away. You just find ways to cope and deal and move on. And some people don't find ways to cope.
It's true.
And deal and move on, and they remain stuck.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem comes in at.
Talk about the dangers of that. That was good. Talk about the dangers of remaining stuck within your grief.
So there are a few stages of grief that one's supposed to go to that we learned in school, and it's called DABDA. So it's denial, anger, bargaining. Is it denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance?
Wow.
Those are all the steps that one's supposed to go through. To, so to speak, be fully complete with the grieving process of that loved one. Some people get stuck in the first or second stage, denial or anger, and that becomes to manifest and fester into other things. You start to feel suicidal. You start to think all these negative thoughts, you know, why them and not me, you know what I'm saying? And that's not the right way to grieve. You know what I'm saying? You have to fully get through each step to, you know, to fully feel like you've gotten somewhere. And even after you do those steps, there's still a lot of work to be done, and you'll never feel the void in your heart, but you'll be able to move on easier. Those 5 steps are very important.
Oh my goodness. Wait, you're really speaking to my core right now, because Mo, I'm just going to be very, very transparent. When we lost Jason, I was in such deep suicide and such deep denial. Mo, it was so bad I felt delusional, because I almost started bargaining with God. And I'm just being honest. I think the more real you are, people can relate, like, girl, I've been there.
Yes, I've been there too.
I started almost like, God, please, this has to, like trying to trick myself. This has to be a nightmare. Lord, if you bring him back, I'll do this. Lord, if you I'm just being honest, y'all. Lord, if you do this, if you bring him back, and if you take the cancer away, Lord, I'll give you all of my time. I'll give you this amount of money. I mean, just crazy things, honest things. I'll give you my money. I'll go to church every other day. I'll start whatever, but I'll read the Bible from cover to cover. Lord, if you bring him back, I promise you I'll serve you forever. If you help me not lose my mind, I promise this, I promise that. And I was in that bargaining stage. And then I went into the depression stage, where the depression started manifesting in different ways. Like I started gaining weight, and I started losing my hair, and I didn't care to put myself together. And then I went to the acceptance stage that you just talked about, like really just grappling with that deep agony of losing someone who we all loved so much. Really gripping, right? Grappling with that reality that your new normal is going to look a lot different. A lot different than what you're used to. So I'm trying not to tear up now, but I'm just curious, Mo, like, how do you deal with grief and the person is still here on earth. They were once really, really close to you, prominent figure in your life. We don't have a relationship anymore. I don't wish you bad. I pray that you don't wish me bad, but the relationship is dead. I'm in Queens, you in Brooklyn, we both live in, but the relationship is gone. How do you deal with that?
That's a tough one, because I've had a few people in my life that I've called friends, sister, and it didn't work out. And I was stuck in that for a while, you know, like, I'm a good person. I, gave my all to this person. Why are they like this with me? But I just learned sometimes you grow out of people and grow out of a season. And I just feel like those people were for that season and for those reasons, and it's just time to end the chapter. Like you said, I wish them no harm, wish them all the best, but I can love you from afar. Because sometimes a person being in your space can be more harm and detrimental to you than you loving them from afar. So sometimes you have to love a person from afar.
It's so true. I say that. I say that, and mommy cracks up all the time, because Mo, I say it in church. No, I love you. I just love you from Africa. I love you. I just love you from way, from way over there. So with that being said, I want to get into chapter 2, you guys. You guys got to get this book. In chapter 2, it really just talks about recognizing signs of grief in children. So let me read a specific quote from chapter 2. Here we go. Emotionally, children may experience a range of emotions such as sadness, anger, guilt, or confusion. They may have difficulty expressing their feelings verbally and may instead act out through tantrums or aggression. It is important to remember that children may not have the words to articulate their emotions, so it is critical to pay attention to their non-verbal cues as well. With that being said, Mo, give us, what are the non-verbal cues? What are some examples of that, so you can help me and all of the other parents out there?
Okay, so sometimes a child may not even know that their behaviors are coming from the fact that they're grieving. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when I, do funerals or, attend funerals, I watch the children. And they're very observant, but you could see that they're intrigued too. But of course, it's a delicate moment. They're not gonna ask questions at that moment, but you can see that they have those questions. And sometimes they probably go home and want to ask, but their parents or whoever, they're around are grieving too. So there's no time for, that dialogue, for that breakdown, that dissection. So for children, they may regress in behaviors. They may start wetting the bed when they have been potty trained for years. Going to school and having fights or just behavioral issues when they weren't having them before. Crying, nightmares, just things like that, and just not knowing where it's coming from, or, so to speak. You know where it's coming from, but they don't really know.
They don't have the language.
Exactly. Eating habits. They may not want to eat. You know what I'm saying? So just, it comes in different waves. And it varies from different ages. Like the youngest, like towards the ages of 5 and down, they look at grief as magical thinking, like the person's gonna come back at some point. Versus
magical thinking, that's good.
Versus, the ages of like 9 and through 12, they understand that and they know that it's more permanent. They just don't know what to do with their emotions. Okay, someone passed away. What is life? What is death? They start to try to break that down. You know what I'm saying? So it varies with ages and the age groups.
Oh my God, I'm so fascinated. I love that, Mo. What can a parent do? What's one practical exercise rather, that a parent can implement to really just soothe that space, that uncomfortable, cringy space where the children doesn't have language to say, this is why I'm acting this way? What can they do?
Definitely the open discussion. Which started off right and kind of will make them feel more comfortable to discuss what's going on. Taking them out, to their favorite places to kind of like distract them from what's going on. But then also at some point of the day, you know, trying to probably kind of throw that in there just to see where their mind is with that whole situation. Just really getting to the bottom of the grieving. You know, never masking it. Don't mask it. Because children understand what's going on. Sometimes we think that children don't know, and they know.
And they know.
Yes. So just being honest and transparent. I feel like the transparency would be the best way to start anything when it comes to grieving. Being honest.
I love it. I love it. Monique Hardy, everybody. Monique Hardy, everybody. Come on, let's put our hands together and that's it. Oh, yeah. Give a round of applause to Monique Hardy. Mo, it has been beyond a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
I love you. I thank you. I believe in you. You're fantastic. The work that you are doing, you are definitely serving as a massive agent of change.
Thank you so much.
And we need people like you in this business because so many people haven't experienced grief so closely yet. But I always tell people, keep on living. You keep on. It's going to happen because it's inevitable.
So everyone has to go through it.
Everybody's going to go through it. That's why I say you be sensitive to people. Oh, that's not my mother, but it will be one day. That's not me speaking negativity over you. It will be one day. Oh, honey, that wasn't my man, but it will be one day. So you watch how you talk and treat people. This generation needs grief etiquette. Watch how you talk and treat people because it absolutely will. Don't become dismissive. That's why I love this ebook. You guys, let's put this ebook up on the screen one more time. A Parent's Guide, honey, to helping children navigate death and grief. Now, Mo, before we go, I want you to shout out your Instagram handle, and I want you to also tell people where they can buy the book and how much it is.
Okay, well, the book is $8.50.
Yep.
And you can find it on my Stan store. I have a link for that, and you can find it on Amazon. My Instagram handle is Macabre by Mo. That's my business Instagram, and my regular traditional Instagram is SusieQ_2_.
Yes, girl, you heard it here. All right, you guys, make sure to go support Monique and all of her future endeavors. I'm so excited to be a cheerleader on the sideline.
Thank you.
Because, girl, I know you're gonna make it to the finish line. You have it in you. You always have.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're gonna head on over to a quick commercial break, but don't you go anywhere because when we return, we have much more of the AM show. Stay tuned.